We've been married for 45 years. Videos will be uploaded to this channel in the near future. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you will be notified when we upload new content to this channel. And don't forget, we've been married for 45 years. Content, new videos, YouTube channel, Visible Lady of Faith. Welcome, invisible people.
And visible people.
With love. Hi, I'm Visible Lady of Faith, and we're going to do another one of our videos. Today we're going to talk about our roles as husband and wife in our relationship. So to start off, we're going to talk about being truth and being honest. So we know that's an important part of our relationship, because if we don't have truth and honesty where we can trust our partner, what do we have? That's very important, that we can depend on the person and depend on our mate, and that they're responsible and that they do what they say they're going to do, and that we can trust them to do that, and that they're honest with us. You know, it's not always, sometimes we don't want to hear what they have to say, but if they're being honest, you know, toward us, so we just have to try to work through those kinds of feelings when it's something that we don't want to hear, even though it's the truth. So truth and honesty in our relationship plays a big part, because like I said, if we don't have trust, what do we have?
Now she said that, and the thoughts that I was having when she was talking about that, and I already got my first thought. My wife said we should be open and honest, and we should be able to talk about everything. False. Nope, that ain't
Why you say that?
I say that because when we just like you said, when we sit down and start talking, like you said, and she said it, and it's not pointing the finger at her, it's that it takes time in our relationship to grow to that point. And we've been at it 45 years, so just give you a hint of it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is this: when I turn around and tell her, and that's also, we got a lot of stories to tell, because it kind of reminds me of the hiring press, where I've told all the kids that be careful what you tell somebody what your weakness are, because they'll turn around and use it in your performance appraisal. So you try to
hold it against you.
Yeah, you better hold that.
Yeah.
So therefore, got to be careful with each other, because this is a two-way street.
Right.
We both have to grow.
Right.
And when we grow, we can slowly start talking about everything, because there's some things we talking, and then that wife or that husband will hold it over your head for a long time, and the relationship can't grow from that.
And sometimes you want your spouse to be open and honest, but I'm still working on my attitudes. When I hear something I don't want to hear, I got to get rid of that mood quicker. You know what I'm saying? I still, after 45 years, it's still challenging for me to do.
Now let me throw another
How about
layer.
you?
Yeah, let me throw another layer on top of that. One of the things is that I would have to say with everybody's belief system. I believe in God. I'll tell you that now. And I have read the Bible from front to back. I would say I'm working on my fourth time doing that.
Wow.
Now, it's interesting, and I'm also, the way my mind works, I can talk about the education, where mine works. I'm not one that quotes you scriptures. I paraphrase it. I know what it's like. And people go, I'm a challenge. You go and find out where it's biblically correct.
And what it means.
Yeah, what it means.
For our everyday current life.
Yes. And it's one thing is this, the nature of the I would have to say, of us as a person, as a man, there is times that I really don't want to tell the wife, being honest. I don't like lying to her. That's one thing. No, I try to avoid discussing until I know the right time to
and
talk.
The right words.
And that's very important, because you got to say it with love.
Yeah, I think I said this in another video about communication. We both speak English, but it's still a challenge because maybe we have two different definitions of the same word, or maybe our perception of what's being said is not how the person meant it. So
And
it's a continuous work and effort.
yeah, and it's not only just as like the politics in the air now. I know when I say something, I'm gonna make sure it benefits me, and I'm sure my wife is gonna say whatever sort of benefit her. So I say being defensive. That's the nature of a human being.
Yeah.
But also too, again, going back and in prayer, and just walk and study and looking at. I found also in the Bible that the father of faith, Abraham, he had to lie. Well, he didn't lie. He deceived because he really told the truth when he said that his wife Sarah was his sister. It was his stepsister, but it was his sister. But I've only heard in the church that no, that's his wife. He lied. No, he didn't lie. He deceived. Now his son Isaac, he went and turned around and said Rebecca, he lied because Rebecca is not his sister. So, this it's interesting. But and the reason why I'm bringing this point up because both of these men are considered Abraham and Isaac are very important figures. The father of faith and Isaac is where the Jewish nation, and I won't get into too much of that because people's interpretation of the Bible is interesting. But when you sit down and dig and get to know someone, you can last for 45 or 46 or 47. Right now, I have no plans in leaving that. Okay.
Right.
So,
Right.
but no, she is. I would have to say, be in truth, and that's helped me to be a better man. Because here's another truth that I have.
What's that?
I promised my wife.
Oh yeah.
If
I
I
know what it
ever,
is.
if I ever decide to go to a different woman, she will know first. Then I will commit to acts. I say, be a man. If you're gonna do that, be a man.
Right.
And then cut it clean. Close the door, because it's more just not her. It's my 4 children, my relatives. It will destroy a lot of people all over the place. Church members, school, people that looks up to the family. It's going to really hurt. Say, see, they couldn't do it. Is it painful? Yeah, it gets painful at times as well as some good times too.
But I just want to add to that. That is not a main reason why we're still together. We
No.
want to be together.
Now
Okay?
you got to keep following us to
We
find
want-
out why.
We want to be together. It's not like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes it's so hard. Why is
Yeah.
it so hard? But I think a lot of times we have expectations, and also we have 2 different people that were raised 2 different ways, and so they do things different ways, and we just have to learn to adapt.
Yeah.
What is it? Adjust. I'm sorry. Adjust.
Yeah.
Adjust to the other person, and I think this is my thing, that I think people give up on the expectations and adjusting to the other person. That's why they just call it quits,
Well, here's
because it's just too hard and they get tired.
here's another interesting thing too, that my wife can speak for it. But see, I was raised by a father and a mother, and I had both parents is what I'm trying to say, and it's interesting how that all came about because my dad, we lived in Bakersfield at the time, and she's laughing because every time I tell this story,
But it is.
yeah,
I'm sorry, it's funny to me.
yeah, because when I told my wife, I did not know I had a dad until I was 13 years old. And when I told my dad, but he got real upset. But see, what people don't get is this: they think children, they think they have a total, complete. They know how the universe and everything works.
Understanding.
No, they don't. I don't know what a definition of that. Only thing is that I would have to say, way I was raised, that's the way the world looked to me. Now my wife, she was raised different. So
Sheltered.
she says sheltered. Well, I can tell you, she'll elaborate more. She was raised by a mother, and dad, he was MIA.
Right.
So it's interesting because in Bakersfield, I kind of experienced some of that because I thought my mother was just raising us 3 children. And then when I finally figured, oh, I do have a dad. You mean that guy that comes in on the weekend? So, so once I understood that and told him that, would really upset him. But you got to understand, our children do not understand everything. They don't. They didn't sit there and, well, we're getting ready to go in the world. So let me read this manual, how to be a human being. Oh, I gotta have a dad. I got a mom. I got this. Oh, policeman. Oh, this. Nah, children come out. They're impressionists. You can learn. They're learning. So
Right.
I said what was in my heart. So you're saying truth and honesty. I know men. We got to be the whole thing, but just give you a little idea that yes, myself personally, I was a linebacker, so that's a manly thing. But also too, I also crocheted because people told me that the man not supposed to do that. Really, I did it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So what I'm saying about truth and honesty, if you really want, to get to know your partner, you're gonna be truth and honesty. But like we said, you can't do it all at once. You got to remember, we've been together for 45 years.
it's an ongoing process.
You're not lying. And so, man, I would encourage you to, whatever your belief system is, that you would take the time and see if you have a good, solid, true belief system, then it'll work. Like I said, it's more the type of love that I have for my wife. I do not want to leave her. I don't want to. Well, she gets upset, so God bless me where I can go. When they say kick you out of the bedroom, I got all kind of places that I can go and sleep, so not a big deal. But that's not true. I'm just talking.
Yeah, you're just talking.
So
I've never kicked him out of the bedroom.
let me think about that.
He may have volunteered to leave on his own, but anyway, love is adjusting. Love is kind. Love is being patient. And to be honest, this man, I am thankful that I have him because I have grown and learned so much in this relationship. And I think had I been not in this relationship, I would have probably been stuck in that sheltered child grew up as. So I am really learning about unconditional love and forgiveness and patience and expectations and adjustments.
Yeah, and her channel, she started out as the invisible lady, and now she's the visible
lady.
and speaking of that, what's so interesting about that? When I married her, she had a degree, I did not. And I thought, wow, I was amazed because, people had told me that I was not college material. I should go and find some mechanic job, and.
Not to belittle mechanics.
Yeah. No, not to live, because mechanics make good money.
Yeah, that's
but,
it.
But the thing is, I listened to my parents. That's what kind of parents I had. So my parents told me, don't listen to what they're saying. We're telling what you can do. We know our child. And so I did, and I thank God that I had some very, very, very intelligent, parents. And when I say intelligent, I thought they're the best parents in the world. But let me give you a little bit more content. Both of them had about a 6th or 7th grade education, and which in our household, with our children in between all this, we have from the difference of a city college all the way to one of the most prestigious colleges. In the United States. And we'll reveal that more about what that education is about. Right now, just being honest,
Right.
the roles, you have to be honest, and that's number one.
Right.
And then as we talk about other topics here, we're talking about truth and honesty, that we ought to talk about another one, love. But some of the topics, just to give an idea, if we don't put it all in this setting, we'll go in part 1 and 2 and 3, whatever it takes to get it done. But we're going to talk about finances, who does housework, friendship, business, the family business, making major decisions, protecting, one another. And, it's important. and we started out with truth and honesty because I'll make it very clear. Now, my wife turns out to be a mass murderer. I'm turning her in. So we're not delusional.
I haven't done that in 45 years. Why
Done
would you
what?
think that? Killed
Oh,
anybody?
no. Yeah, that's not in her nature.
I
So
don't even believe in doing that.
yeah,
I don't
so
even like to fight.
yeah, so
Physical fight, maybe verbal fight.
but see the thing is that my only point of that is want to make sure you understand that truth and honesty is very important, and you have to work to this particular point because it's one thing is that we're being honest and open with and we're just trying to be transparent because we believe in couples and families and things, and the only way you're going to do it, you can't build it on lies and deceit. Because once you find out what's going on, it's going to tear your family apart. Because we can talk to one another, our children, my brother and sister, I can talk to them about any and everything. That's the mature part of the family. But the next generation behind us, they're getting there, and I'm proud that they are. Eventually, they're going to get there. And it's just that. Well, we don't have this problem either. We get so mad at each other, we stop talking to each other. That's not good. So, get over it yourself. And you got to be careful with all these things you're saying because we got all kind of stories because people, the families that try to date our daughters and they're married to good men right now. And this one thing is, you got to be careful. You got to be honest with yourself and not let your hormones and all that get in the way. Because you can make some stupid decisions over your hormones. Oh, if I had said there and said, oh, she's fine. Oh, he's handsome. And all that stuff. Right. It's based on, not on this fleshly body that you see here. It's in the mind of this woman and the mind of this man. They have to get to know each other and trust and be honest with each other. So it takes some work. And God does not have a color. God doesn't have all these things because I'm seeing, especially during this pandemic, it's just people that went off the rail. But anyway, truth and honesty. Oh, they done went off the rail. But anyway, let's see. Love. What do you think about love? What's that?
I had touched on love. Love is, I said a few minutes ago, love is patient. Love is kind. I don't think like lusting after a person, like you were alluding to about how people, they may be in love with the idea of having a big wedding, but the real work starts after you say I do and you start living together. Like I said, you have to be forgiving, patient, and it's adjustment. Yeah.
Now, I would have to say this one thing is about, the men in our family and my son. We have one son, and this one thing is that I will say this: I do not appreciate him getting some female pregnant. No, he has a thing to what I taught him. They talk about marrying him. First thing come out of his mouth, I can't afford you.
Right.
Can't take care of it because there's more to.
Don't go there if you can't. You gotta have, like he says, capital.
Yeah, you got to be able to do it. And they said, oh well, and I know people talk about love. Yeah, people talk about love and all the love stories and all. Yeah, that's great. Love is important. You got to have respect, but see, it's more too because that love that I'm talking about, you get into love and all of a sudden you get to the point where you're getting abused by the person and it just gets ugly and then you just get chaotic.
Physical abuse.
I have problems with that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
But love is, understanding, communicating, like you said, respect, Oh, it's not like, oh, he look good. But I think the inside of a person is more important than what they look like on the outside. You know what I'm saying? What kind of character do they have? What kind of heart do they have? Are they compassionate? Are they generous? That's one thing I can say about my husband. He is compassionate. He is generous. He's willing to help others. That's what I love about him.
And see, I know that having, as a wife was saying that, because over time, my love has grown for my wife, and it's that unconditional love, that's that mercy love, that grace love. Mm-hmm. It's not saying because I can tell you a lot of people say I can remember this time we went to one of our friends passed away, and we happened to show up at the funeral, and wife don't remember. She was standing on the corner, and the girls was there, and these guys were hitting on my wife, and they said no. And they said, Dad.
Yeah.
They said
My children are very protective
Yes.
when they think that's going on.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I won't say her age or anything like that.
Please
but
don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
So no, I'm not going there. So what I'm saying is, when they sit there and look, and she always has this compliment. Some man told her about I think a month or so that she was a beautiful person, and she came in the house. She said that, but
That made my day.
she says that make her day. But our point is when.